let me just explain about exactly what is going on with my hair and the color and everything that I've done. I know a lot of you know exactly what the story is, but everybody that's new that asks is like, okay, how many times did you dye your hair, and you know, what the hell? So here goes. Oh, and don't mind the messiness that is Jamar's room. The lighting is just incredible. So this is what we're doing. All right, first time I dyed my hair was March 2010. Years and stuff aren't important. First time I dyed my hair, I was transitioning. I still had all my permed ends, you know, there. I didn't cut that off yet. Obviously, I was taking the risk of breaking that hair right off because of the dye and that chemical. And the reason I did that was because I figured I gotta cut my hair anyway. So if it does damage it, big deal, I'll just cut it off faster. And it didn't, because at the time, after a certain point of transitioning, I was only doing braid and twist outs using shea butter and coconut oil. That was all I did. I did not do any kind of wash and go or anything. And I did that for months. I know that sounds like crazy. That is all I did. I did them about once a week, and it was probably the healthiest my hair had ever been. And because of that, my relaxed ends were still intact. They weren't really that damaged, even with the dye. I mean, obviously it was thinner than the hair that was growing in, you know, my natural hair. It wasn't breaking off all crazy. It was, you know. So a few months later, I cut the rest of the ends off. And then a few months later after that, I dyed my hair again the same color. The color that I dyed my hair, that I was dyeing my hair those two first times, was Golden Bronze by Dark and Lovely, and I'll put all the info in the box. I dyed my hair, I spaced it out like every 5.5 months or something like that, touching up my roots. I think the third time I dyed it, I left it in for like 43 minutes or something because I was on the phone and it was like an important call, when really you're only supposed to leave it in for 30 minutes. When I washed that out, and for the few months that that was growing out, which is, I'll show you, the ends. My ends right now is that bit of hair that I kept the dye in for so long. And you can see a strip of like blonder hair growing out of my head. And then a few months after that, I dyed it the same color and I left it in for the right amount of time. So what you saw was the color of the dye that I did that last time. Then that light strip from the time before, because I left it in for longer than I was supposed to. And then the rest of my hair was the same color as, you know, what my roots were, because I did that the correct way. Left it in the right amount of time. Let's backtrack. After I cut my hair, after I cut the rest of the ends off, I was doing wash and goes. I stopped doing braid outs and twist outs because the purpose of me doing all those braid outs and twist outs while I was transitioning was to blend my two textures. I couldn't do wash and goes because I looked silly. So I stopped now because I was like, wow, I could just do a wash and go. I could see my actual curl pattern, which I was in love with. So then, like 5 or 6 months later, I dyed my hair a red color. I forgot the name. Again, all of that will be in the description box. But I dyed it a red. The red faded within like 2 weeks. I did buy shampoos that were supposed to, like, you know, keep the color and add the color in, color depositing shampoos. But I did a lot of other stuff, I guess, that, you know, I use hot water on my hair. You're not really supposed to do that anyway, but I'm just an extremely cold person. When I'm in the shower, my water is hot. I've rinsed my hair a lot because I exercise so much. So, you know, just the combination of things. The color faded really fast. But my roots, they were a lighter brown than what my natural hair color was. So that was the last time I dyed my hair. That was February of this year. Now my hair looks like this. So since then, you can see this is all my natural dark brown color. And let me find a good spot here. And then you can see right here is where that brown starts. That's where the red was. And then from the time before that I dyed my hair, the golden bronze color starts like right here. Now you see how much hair I have left? It should be more than that, obviously, because I've been doing this for like 3 years now. Now here's the problem. After I started washing my hair so much and doing wash and goes, and I stopped doing all those braid outs and twist outs, nothing was as moisturizing to my hair as the shea butter and the coconut oil. That was the key. So now that I was doing all these wash and goes all the time, and like I said, I exercise a lot, I sweat so much. So my hair touches my face and my back and my neck and everywhere that the sweat is, because my diet is high in sodium. Everything I eat has salt in it. That partly has to do with, you know, the way my mother cooks and just my personal taste preference. I'm not saying it's right, but this is the reason that this happens. So that dries the mess out of my hair. You know, if I leave that in there, that's not good. And if I'm constantly washing it, you know, it's just the catch-22, really. Like, so, I mean, and I could tie my hair up every time I work out. And I try to tie it up as much as I can. But sometimes it just, you know, I wear it out, whatever. Anyway, it's just a combination of things. And on top of the part where I left that dye in for so long, like I wasn't supposed to, like I knew I wasn't supposed to, that's where it's breaking off. Then after I dyed it, I went to get it done and I got it trimmed at a salon. But she trimmed a lot off, which was fine, because I don't know if you remember back then, I wasn't feeling the shape of my hair. It was like turning into a mushroom thing. So she had to, I guess, you know, trim a lot to get a nice round shape, which I love. And it stayed. It's growing out nicely. That's another reason. So she cut a lot off with all the other circumstances, and that light strip is growing out. So right now, that part of my hair where I left that dye in for so long is at the tips. And that is the driest part of my hair. So you can just see what's going on. That is why my hair is like, I mean, it's growing. It's nowhere near where it should be. As you know, if I continued to do what I used to do and I wasn't exercising as much when I first started transitioning, and you know, like my whole lifestyle has changed. So it's just the circumstances. Anyway, this is how long it is. And in the back, like directly in the back, it's you know, it's longer. It comes down to not bra strap length, but a little higher than that. And it should be past bra strap length by now. So whatever, everybody keeps asking, do you cut your hair? Do you trim it? No. Like I said, I got it trimmed in February. And before that was when I cut my relaxed ends off. I don't really go to the salon and get trims. That's my personal preference. I know all about how, you know, that helps prevent the split ends if you keep it trimmed. I know. I just don't. So, but, you know, I mean, I know length is really important to a lot of people. And I would love to have it long, and I plan to one day, you know, it's longer than this, but not for nothing. I love this length. I do. I like how the bounciness, the fullness of it, how it springs up. It's not weighed down because it's not so long. And the longer my hair gets, the more work it is. And I'm not making excuses like, you know, like, oh, my hair's not, it's breaking off and it's all right. It's like, I'm not doing any of that. I'm just saying I'm enjoying each stage of my hair, and I'm enjoying this length, even though it's been this length for some time now. I really do love it. It's less product that I have to use. I keep thinking about that as when my hair gets longer, how much more money I'm going to be spending on products, because it is very thick also. But anyway, so some changes I am completely making. For the past 2 weeks, I've been wearing nothing but braid outs. I plan to continue to do that for a good amount of time, for a few months. Nothing is moisturizing enough for my hair at this stage. If you haven't seen my video about my braid outs or the shea butter and the coconut oil, all that, I will have all that in the box, and you can see exactly what I have done and what I'm going to continue to do for some time to get my hair back on track, really. I hope this cleared up any of those questions that I was getting. And I'll see you in the next video.